I watched two more things this week, which are really, really relevant. Everything I'm showing you is from this week. This podcast is an interview of Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. And somewhere around minute 10, he says this: I spend a lot of my day in messaging apps, email, Slack. I think that's just the wrong interface. What I would rather do is say in the morning, here are the things I want to get done today. Here's what I'm worried about. Here's what I'd like to happen. And then deal with what everything you can. You know me, you know what I want to get done. This is basically him, the leader of the AI revolution, saying this is the future of how we interact with, in this case, virtual assistants. And I think even he doesn't have it yet. So what I'm going to show you today is really a very, very, very crude version of what is possible today. And I've been working on this for the last 2 months, and I've been using it for the last 2 months. But it's really, think of it as version 0.1. This is really not ready for prime time. It's really not production level, enterprise level software. It's not polished, but it's super, super powerful. And it's really for the early adopters. So if you're an early adopter adventurer, this is for you. I'm going to show you what's possible. So here's my story and why I'm doing this and why I built this thing. I have 12 different projects. I kid you not, at this particular moment, at any given week, I work on 12 different things that are not necessarily related to each other. Some of them have to do with AI. Some of them have to do with creative projects that I have. I have a nonprofit. Some of the people from our nonprofit are here. And I, like everybody else, am overwhelmed with a lot of things. So naturally, I do what I can, and then I forget things. I'm going to show you because they're real. I have all these notes on my table, probably 20 or 40 or 50 of them, which I cannot follow. Post-it notes all over my table, documents and Word files and calendars, and I still forget things. And a lot of things slip through the cracks. I don't think I have the budget for a human VA. Many people do. I don't. I'm not sure it's going to help me. Maybe it will, but it costs a lot of money. So the next best thing, and perhaps even better, is what I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to switch my screen to another tab on the browser. This tab is my dashboard. And it's auto-generated by Claude Code as I work throughout my day. After I show you my dashboard and what I can do with it, I will show you the terminal where the actual command post is. That's the hardest part to understand. So I'll explain to you what you see. So here's my dashboard. It's an HTML file. This is in my browser. All the data that you're going to see is on my local machine. I have a Mac. It's not on the cloud. This file is on my local file system. Claude Code is working with files that are on my local file system. Of course, I am sending information to the model. There's no way around it other than installing a local model, but that's not possible right now for me. So I don't use anything that is too private. I don't share private information, but everything I do in my projects, I just assume I don't have a privacy concern, and that's a good enough assumption for me. If you have different assumptions, we can talk about them and minimize it. But everything is private on my machine. Each one of these tabs I can expand. So this tab is connected to my calendar, and it knows that I had this morning, a meeting with a person called Nico, and then now I'm giving this demo. And tomorrow I have a meeting with a person called Fraser on another project, and then another meeting with a person called Brian. I think both of them are here today because I work with them. And then the day after tomorrow, my nephew has a birthday. So this is synchronized every morning with my Google calendars, and I have 3 of them that are in the same place. So this VA of mine can read the calendar and synchronize my meetings every morning or when I ask it to. These are the things I was doing today. I'm working on this system called Q, and then these are technical things that I'm doing, and I was preparing for this demo. And so I'm going to show you now what happens when I want to update Q. But with this dashboard, I can just say, okay, this is done. And I am just giving the demo now. I'm going to click on Done plus Note, and you see that it clicked something in my clipboard. And in a minute, I'm going to paste it somewhere, and you'll see that I'm connecting back to my dashboard, to my command center. This is not, this is really, like I said, this is version 0.1. But I can update something that happened in the real world here, and it will get back to my virtual assistant, and it will update all the other systems that I have. More things that I have is things coming up. I'm going to share the recording of this video with Nico tomorrow. I need to ship 20 books to one of my clients called Abraham, etc., etc., etc. I have things I'm waiting on. My son has to sign something. Actually, he already did. So I need to say this is done. And this is another client of mine. And Fraser owes me some kind of a spreadsheet. And then this person needs to sign an NDA. And Nico has suggested some things that I need to check. So you can see already I have several projects that are not necessarily connected to each other. And each one of these would be a post-it note on my table, but now I don't have to. This is blocked. I have to do this for a friend, and this is a personal project, and I haven't. So, it's overdue. It needs my attention. These are the things I'm working on. And then these are things that are coming up. And again, you can see each one of these. This is Q is one project. CFU is another. NBN is another. So I do have BOM is another. I do have 12 projects. So this is my dashboard. But where is this information coming from? So what I'm going to show you now is something called the terminal. It's living inside a program called Cursor, but it can also be a terminal. I have a Mac. This works well in Windows in something called the PowerShell. And on Macs, it works in the terminal. And you can also use the same technology in a more advanced interface called Cursor or VS Code, but it's not really necessary. The main jump for people who are not familiar with what you see now on the screen, and I will explain what is it that you see, is, okay, I'm used to mouse, and I'm used to clicking on things, and I'm used to menus, and now I just see text in front of me, and it's very disconcerting and disorienting. And I agree, it is. But you just need to take small steps, and we can help you do that if you want to take that leap. And I promise you, after 1 hour of work, you'll feel a lot better. It really doesn't take more than 1 hour and just overcoming this fear. So you can see here at the top that it says Q Virtual Assistant GR. GR is me. And you can see a whole bunch of text. I've been working with this virtual assistant since the morning. I open up in the morning, I say good morning, and then it tells me everything that happened yesterday, everything that I'm waiting for. It goes out into the calendar and regenerates that dashboard, which is a lot easier for me to see. That's why I built it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask it to introduce itself to you. And then you will see Claude Code with the virtual assistant programming basically giving the answer. So I'm going to tell it what is happening. I'm actually giving the demo on you now, and I want you to introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them who you are and what you do. And I'm just doing this for you. Now, what you see here now, it's giving me, first of all, it's saying, I'm elucidating. It's a funny way of saying I'm working on something. And then it starts thinking. And here you can see its thoughts. Okay, so you see the thinking, it's in light gray, and then this is the answer. You can hide the thinking if it's too much for you, but I really wanted you to see it. And here's what he says. I'm QVA, Gabriel's AI virtual assistant. What I do, I track its commitments, follow-ups, and projects. I know what's due today. I surface what matters. Gabriel just stops me naturally. There's no commands to memorize. I lead the conversation. I'm not a passive tool. I'm proactive, and I adapt to Gabriel's needs. Right now, I cost about $20 a month in API usage, and not 3.5, $3,000 or $5,000 for human VA. and it tells me there's 19 active items, waiting on 8 things for people, and I know that tonight is the priority of the demo. And then it says, okay, what would you like me to see do? And here's what I want you to witness. I'm going to go back real quick to the dashboard. And this dashboard is an HTML file. It's basically a file that this VA, virtual assistant, created for me. So it regenerates, but I now don't just want it to regenerate. I want to change a feature. I want to say, you know what? I want something else on this dashboard. So I want you to see how I can talk to the VA and it can recreate the software, its own software, as we go along by interacting with me. So for example, I saw before that these don't have check marks. Everything else has a check mark, which allows me to say this is done and give a comment. You see, I can click to mark it done. And I will do that in a minute. But before, I want to show you what happens when I basically ask it to say, okay, you know the waiting on section? Why don't you have check marks here? I want a check mark here too, which basically means he has to regenerate this page based on my instructions. And this page is part of his programming. It generates this page every time I change something. So I'm going to go back and in language, I'll paste it. And I say, I want to make sure that I can comment and update the waiting on section too. So change that to checkboxes. And note that I'm just telling it the waiting on section. I'm not saying the dashboard. It's supposed to know everything, right? So let's see if it does. Okay, this is going to take a little bit more time. It's going to think for longer. It's going to try to understand what I'm asking. And you see that there's something called the generate demo dashboard function. So it's now rewriting its software. It's saying I need to change something, and then it's thinking how to do that. And all I did is say, hey, listen, I just want you to change yourself a little bit. And now this is the code of that page, and he's doing it by himself. And then he will regenerate that page, and I'll just refresh it. I just opened that page from my file system. Now it's refreshing it. It's regenerating it, and it says done. So now all I do is go back here, and I'm going to click on the refresh here and go to the waiting on section. And all of a sudden, each one of these has a checkbox on. And this is now going to stay forever. The software has been upgraded just by me speaking to it and say, you know what? I don't like this, do something else. I can now ask it to change this dashboard to dark mode from light mode, or basically say, do a dark mode and light mode, because sometimes I want dark and sometimes I want light. So create dark mode for me. I could do that. I don't want to waste your time. Believe me, I can. What I want to show you now is how it updates this. So for example, the tribe demo, this demo, I prepared it and delivered it. So I'm going to say, I am now finishing the demo. It was awesome, at least for me. Now I'm going to click done plus note. Right now, all that happened is that I get a check mark here and I've got a comment on my clipboard, but the system now needs me to tell it in the command center. There is no connection. I'm going to work on that in the future. So remember, this is really a very early version. All I had to do now is paste and click enter. So, I made it as easy as possible for me not to type too much. And now it's going to say, okay, I finished the demo. It's now updating its status for this particular task. It's marking it basically as done. And it's going to regenerate the dashboard. So I can actually refresh that dashboard in a moment when it says that it's done. And you will see there that is not there anymore. So it tells me I have to share the recording with Nico tomorrow. I go back here. This is now going to disappear. I just click refresh and it's gone. So this dashboard follows the command center that is in the terminal. Okay. So just to recap, this is now, it has the context of every one of my projects as a file, as a different type of files. with all the people that I work with my goals, with my milestones. And then I keep adding things as they happen in the real world. If I have a meeting with someone, I can put the transcript of the meeting here and say, hey, look, analyze this, create an email, a follow-up, a post, whatever. This is really my command center, and it's connected to every other project that I have. And then if I do some work in that project, because it's very, very technical, like create a website or do something that is programmatic, I can bring back the status from that project to my command center. I have them all connected together. This is, of course, a very advanced version, but we can get you also to get to this point with a little bit of instruction. And the software is really very easy to use. All you need to do is just download Claude Code, install it on your Mac or Windows. I'm creating now videos to do that. So it's going to be very, very easy. I'm going to go back to the presentation. By the way, this presentation was made by my virtual assistant. And I can actually now change this presentation on the fly if I want to by giving it a command and say, hey, you know what, delete slide 7. I don't need it anymore. Change slide 7 to something else. I did a few iterations. And again, this presentation is an HTML file on my machine. It's not on the cloud. So I'm going back to here. I showed you the live update by talking to it. And the key insight is that it really helps me by asking me, suggesting to me. It's not waiting for me all the time. It leads me. So if I say in the morning, what's up? It will tell me everything that I need to do and remind me, oh, you need to send this to Nico today because he's waiting for that. You know, it's not going to rely on me to be the memory. It is the memory, but it also knows how to behave like a virtual assistant. And like I showed you, it adapts to you. So you can download the version that I have now when I send it to you, because right now we're still testing it. So come January, we will put it on our website and I'll show you where it is. And then it will start adapting to your own needs. It will have your projects, your data, and it's going to sit on your computer. There's nothing I or anybody else can see. It's already private. Whoever can see it is just Claude, that you're sharing the information with Claude AI, Anthropic. But if you work on Claude AI, it's nothing different. If you need to use information with an LLM, you're basically giving the LLM the ability to read that information. So I just don't use anything private, of course. So what I'm saying is this adapts with your needs. I can tell you I've been working with this system and developing it at the same time for 2 weeks. I've added a whole bunch of skills. It's got a meeting summarizing tool that I can put the text version of the transcript of this demo, and it will summarize the demo for me. And then I can have a conversation with him and says, hey, how did I do on my demo? Right? Can you criticize? But just by reading the transcript, and it will be able to do that for me. Or I can say, go watch that video of Sam Altman and transcribe it for me. And then let's have a conversation, because I want to use a snippet from minute 9 in this demo that I'm working on. This is something that I actually did. So my VA has a way to summarize long conversations and meetings and transcribe YouTube videos and do deep research, create deep research prompts, and a whole different set of skills that I care for. And you can develop your own skills. If you tell it to do a skill, it will know how to create a Claude skill, which is a whole world in and of itself. So it really evolves over time. It's not static software anymore. It's not, you are basically going to be rewriting the software according to your needs. This is a new paradigm. It's nothing like we had before. Some more examples about how I use this system, not just for virtual assistants. I created one for grant writing. There was a member of this community, the tribe community, who she has a PhD, and she has a she writes grant applications to Israeli and U.S. organizations. And I basically took some of her material, which is private, and I showed her that I can create a system for her to take the material that is private on her hard drive and rewrite it for a new grant application based on the formats that are done or requested by that organization. It took about 3 minutes. So as soon as she had one, and the format of the other. In 3 minutes, she had a draft that she could read. It's probably 2,000 words, but it's very well crafted and it answers exactly the thing. So grant writing, deep research. When I want to know something, I chat with my virtual assistant. It knows how to create a very, very long, deep research prompt. And then I use Claude AI or Perplexity or another deep research model like the ChatGPT 5.2 Thinking Pro. And I put that prompt in, but it's a very beefy prompt that I couldn't write by myself. So this is a very specific thing. For some clients of ours, we're creating courses, teaching material, legal stuff, the simple legal stuff. I'll show you some examples in the Q Marketplace, which is on our website. You can go to the AI Masters/Q Marketplace. There's a video that explains what it is, and these are the ones that are already there. This one will allow you to write a book over a long period of time. It will guide you from day 1 to day 200. I spent 2 years writing a book. I didn't have this. I did it by hand, but I followed the process. So I formalized this process. And so this particular Q can guide you through it. Q MVP is for founders who want to validate their products before they're built. It follows industry best practices, Y Combinator, and others. So it's based on knowledge that I curated from the internet and my own experience as a founder of startups. This one allows you to do videos. There's one for project management in general that is not specific to technology. One for creating teaching materials. One for vibe coding that, again, has methodologies in there. And the beautiful thing about this system is that it does allow you to do something over long periods of time. It remembers what you're doing, what you did yesterday, what you did a month ago, and you keep going from there and you're building your project over time. So you can add this to any vibe coding project that you're doing with any technology, and it will guide you through it. These are more creative. I actually wrote a screenplay last month with this Q. Was an amazing experience. It's pretty good, surprisingly, because it's my first one. And I gave it to Hollywood people to read, and they said, hey, you know what? You need some work on it, which was mind-blowing to me because usually they just throw it away and they say this is trash. So I managed with this type of system to write something that I did not believe was possible. And we're building more of these. Right now, they're all free. You can go now and download them. If you need assistance, we can give you assistance. So this is my sales pitch. We're going to launch the marketplace in January. Everything is free. You can actually download the infrastructure. We have a public repo for the Q system. So if you want to play with this and build something on top of it, that part is private, is public. But the Qs themselves right now, they're software that we're building. They're all in beta, and right now they're all free. So you can go to the website and download as many as you want. We don't know when we're going to come out of beta, but we keep creating new ones. And then if you need help setting it up, using the terminal, installing Claude Code, then we have the ability to be one-on-one with you. This is a paid service. What I suggest now is that if you're interested in getting an email from us when we launch this particular one, the virtual assistant, because right now it's not on the marketplace, I'm still working on it. So drop your email in the chat and I'll pick up those emails and then I'll email you the actual assistant when it's ready for you to use. And then I'm going to upload it to the marketplace as well. And that's it. This is the demo.